Hey sis, welcome back to Let's Talk Sis, where we grow in faith, identity, and transformation. I'm your host, Callie Roy, and I'm excited you're here. Today's conversation is for the woman who knows she's called but feels like she's still in the middle of healing, the middle of growth, the middle of becoming. You are not behind, you are being built, and everything you're going through is preparing you for the impact you're called to make. Today we have a powerful, purpose-driven woman joining us, my girl, Kaneshia Brinson. She is a leader, an educator, and a woman committed to making impact in every space she steps into. Help me welcome sis to the conversation. Let's go.
I went through a period of time because I'm so vocal and, I was called to speak, period, and teach. That's my calling, to teach others and to speak life into others. But I went through a silent period for about 3 years where God literally set me down and he held my hand and he talked to me and he walked with me, but he did not allow me to speak. And throughout that time, I went through a lot. My eyes opened up in a way that I could never unsee what I saw.
Wow.
I began to see people for who they were. I started to see spirits instead of just seeing humans. I started to feel again, like, what I'm saying, just focusing on who I am, how I am, and realizing that it's a call on my life and I have to act accordingly. So he set me down for a little while, but I'm back and I'm better.
Amen. I'm glad that you understood how to be obedient to sit, because sometimes we don't want to sit. We go against the grain. And then when you get out of being obedient, then he got to whoop you. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't believe God. God ain't going to whoop me. He's going to let me make it. No, God is not going to give you grace when you're out of order. And especially when you have a calling on your life. So I'm glad that you were in sync and knowing, look, it's not my season right now. Let me sit down.
Yes.
And so that's powerful that that you got your swag back. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because you don't feel like yourself. You feel like you've lost your identity. You feel like you just can't connect the dots and everything is chaotic because as a woman, we hold so much. You're a mother. You a daughter, you a sister, you a wife. So you have to give to everybody, and you're on empty. And sometimes you just don't know where to go to refill yourself back up because your sources are just dry.
Well, in that season, he also taught me that everything and everybody is not my assignment.
Oof.
So because I got to a point in my life where I wanted to help everybody. I wanted to take care of everybody. And you're right. I forgot about me. And he had to get me on my right. He had to put me back on my right path to say everybody and everything is not your assignment.
Yeah.
I need you to take care of you. And then when your cup runneth over, then you can pour into some other cups, because surely it will run over at some point. But it's the obedience. I think a lot of times, like you said, we go against the grain and we want to do what feels best for us instead of allowing his will to prevail.
Exactly. And that's why when I reached out to you, I know a certain part of your story, but I don't know the full story because we've been disconnected for like how many years? Like 6?
Yes, it's been some time.
6, 7. No, how old is Ava? Look, how old is Ava?
Ava is 9. So it's been about 9 years. Yep,
9 years, B. God,
9 years.
Time goes by.
Right.
And it was placed on my heart for your title to be built to impact and called to lead, because you are a true definition of a leader and you have an impact. You're small, but baby,
what? Packing the punches.
Hit them with a right.
Yeah, packing some punches. Big things come in small packages.
That's it.
Yes. But I will say this. The bulk of my story and how my story started, because when I first met you, I had only been in Houston maybe I would say 6 months to a year, if that. So you saw me at a low, and you've been rocking. Even though we've been disconnected, we still connected. We're seeing each other. We're seeing how each other progress, how we're growing. And I see you too, sis. That's why I love that you said, let's talk, sis. It's so you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so you. You
Yeah.
encouraged me, and you know that you was with me in some dark seasons, and you really
Absolutely.
encouraged me, and you kept me going, and I appreciate you for that. That's why you gonna forever be my sister.
Oh, you better stop, girl. Don't make me
I
cry.
appreciate
We
you so
just
much for that.
jumping into it, and
We
I
just
want to
getting in.
and I want to thank you for allowing me to be in a point in your life when you felt like you were at your deepest. Because guess what? You were building the foundation for the success that you're headed and that you and your husband are building and have built and are
Yes,
continuing to build the legacy for those two beautiful daughters that God blessed y'all with. So I want to thank you for opening up and being so vulnerable, because sometimes people going through the trenches, they don't want you to know nothing. They smile
that's
and
right.
hurting on the inside, and trying to keep this persona up. And
Yes,
that's not what we should do. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of your story. I really want to
absolutely,
say that. So to,
absolutely.
so today, as I want again everyone to know, is that you're a powerful woman with purpose. You have a purpose. You're a purpose-driven woman, and you're a
Hmm.
leader in
Yes,
education and a woman committed to making an impact in every space that you step into. And I just love that because, like we said, she's small, but she gonna come with a punch.
that's right.
So my first question to you on this afternoon is, when did you first realize you were called to lead?
I would say I've always known, even I would say as early as my teenage years. I ran from that calling for quite some time because it felt different. I didn't fit in any group. I honestly didn't fit in my family at times. So I would say it was as early as that, but it was scary for me at first because who want to be the eyeball?
Yeah.
Who want to be the person that's always speaking up? Who want to be the person that everybody say, oh, she's not following the crowd, she's not doing what the crowd is doing. That they kind of cast you out. Who want to be that person? Nobody. But when God call you, you're set apart, and he'll isolate you to elevate you. And I and I and I had to learn that. I went through a lot of seasons where I felt like a butterfly in a cocoon. I felt all alone. I felt like it was dark. However, when I realized that he was preparing me for what he called me to do, such as leadership and just speaking encouragement and just being there, being a strong pillar in my community and in my family. Once I realized that, I was able to sit back and be okay with who I am, how I am, because I knew whose I am.
Oof,
So
come on.
that alone, when I first realized that, hey, I'm different, but I'm called. Once I realized that, everything got a little bit easier.
My God.
Everything got a little bit easier. Even because you when you're called and you're in leadership, you're gonna deal with some sort of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna deal with isolation.
Yeah.
You're
I
gonna
want
question.
I want you to talk a little bit more about this, sis, because isolation is real. Isolation to me, when I went through my isolation season, it felt like I was going through a depression stage, but I
Yeah.
wasn't, because I was getting stretched and I was learning myself. So, how did you really realize, okay, I'm getting isolated for the better and not getting hurt or getting the rejection that you talked about?
Say that at first I didn't know. It didn't feel good. It was uncomfortable. I didn't like it. I started to try to fitting in here, fitting in there, reach out to this person, reach out to that person. And each time, God, sit back down. I'm preparing you for something else. I need you to be quiet. I need you to be still. He was constantly putting me back in a place to where I was all alone, where I can hear him, where I can feel him, and where I could flourish. Because I would say that I went through so much in my life that I felt like I was being buried. And what I realized with that is that's exactly what needs to happen with seeds. They have to be buried and they have to be watered. And when I talk about the rain, I'm talking about the storms, I'm talking about the trials and tribulations that you go through. some things you got to go through by yourself. You have to be all alone for you to realize that it was God that pulled you through and pulled you out of it. So with that isolation, I would say at the end of every storm, it was a celebration. So I started to realize that when he isolate me, when he put me in uncomfortable situations, such as, we know the stories from the word where people was isolated, it was always for his glory.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that at first. I really didn't know that. What I thought I was being punished.
Yeah.
But I wasn't being punished. I was being prepared. I was being prepared for the
your
journey.
elevation. Ooh,
that's it.
Come on,
it.
girl. You better stop. I'll put your cash app on here. You preaching.
Go on, put it on there for the people. I'm kidding. But I'm serious, man. That isolation will beat you down because the enemy will turn it and make it look like you're being rejected. He'll make you feel abandoned. He'll make you feel awkward. He'll make you feel, as the kids say, you weird. He'll make you feel like, oh, you weird, you tripping.
Yeah. And you're not.
And you're not. And you have to, you kind of have to see things through our Father's eyes.
That's it.
Because flesh want to believe that I have to be amongst the people. I have to speak up. I have to do this. I have to do that. But in all reality, you don't have to do anything you're not called to do.
Come on.
And you'll know it's a calling because it never stopped calling. You see, we have some people in our life, and I'm going to talk about people because I'm a related and you'll understand. We have people in our life who we'll talk to for a season and you never hear from them again because their season is up.
Yeah.
However, for the ones that keep calling, those are your everyday, all day. That's your ride or dies, right?
Yeah.
So for something to keep calling, and it's your calling, you either gonna answer, you either gonna use it or lose it. You either gonna answer or you're not.
Right.
And when it keep calling you like that, you have no choice but to respond in obedience.
That's it.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. Leadership felt uncomfortable at first.
Yeah.
Because you question yourself, who am I to, talk to women about this? Who am I to speak up on that?
Yeah. Yeah. And you gotta carry. You got to carry so much because,
yes, you do.
Like you said, when you go into that isolation mode, God downloads so much, and you got to release it.
That's why I said he will show you things that you don't want to see, but you can't unsee.
That's it.
Throughout and I will say in a season of isolation and the season that you're being prepared, he'll show you. Because we ain't always right. We ain't always good.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the isolation is all about you. Sometimes it's not about being used. Sometimes it's all about you. And I would say that the period that I went through, the quiet time, that the years, that 3-year period that God had me to sit down and be quiet, majority of that was me.
Yeah.
It wasn't for nobody else. I had already been everything to everybody else. This was a time where God said, you sit down and I want you to be who you were called to be. I want you to focus on you.
That's it.
And then when you focus on you, like you said before, then we can pour into others.
That's it.
Because God don't want us to give from an empty cup.
Yeah. And you might be giving the wrong things in that empty season, and you might put a burden or information that you wasn't supposed to release because you wasn't pure and you wasn't solid in your time of your isolation.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, in that isolation, it was sometimes something that happened. I'll hurry up. I even got on Facebook before and made statuses. You ever got on there, made a status, and then delete it? Because I wanted to say something. Since I wanted to say something so bad, because throughout a period of isolation, the enemy literally used everybody and everything that I love to attack me.
Oof.
And I wanted to, as rambunctious as I am, as much as of a leader I am also a fighter.
Yeah.
I fight on many different levels, especially in the spirit. Yeah. However, it was some times that I wanted to say some stuff in the Holy Spirit. Didn't he tell you be quiet? Because when it's time to release your testimony, then you can go because you'll be prepared.
Prepared.
I wanted to come from a fleshly route sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to you because the isolation don't feel
Feel
good.
good. So God took
Mm-mm.
you through the isolation for the preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
Mm-hmm.
B. Come on, B. So my next question is, what has the middle look like for you personally? You know, when you go through that middle of the isolation, what did that really look like for you?
It looked like a lot of quiet time. Um, it looked like I'm not gonna lie to you. It almost felt like I had lost sight of who I really was. It felt that way because we know feelings. God don't operate in feelings, but we operate in feelings.
Feelings, yeah.
It felt like I wasn't being true to who I am. It felt I lived that silence did not feel good because I'm not gonna lie to you. Ever since anybody who know me, ever since that I could talk, I've always talked.
Yeah.
I have never shut up. Teacher, I get every report card. The teacher right on there talk too much. Excellent student, talk too much. Okay, I probably need to be on Oprah status right now with the talking. However, it was just so uncomfortable, so lonely, and like I said, the enemy played a lot of mind games.
Yeah.
So it made me feel like, oh, this person not calling me. Oh, maybe this person not inviting me here or there. It literally, it felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It looked like me journaling a lot because if I can't say it, I can write it. Because when that time come, they might be. I hate to say it, but people might be paying for your testimony.
Come on.
In the next season, your testimony may not be a giveaway. Maybe it's a purchase. Like your downloads, those
That's
will
it.
become purchases. That's
Purchases.
intellectual property. So
Yes.
I honestly don't know what God, at the time, I didn't know what God wanted me to do with what I was going through, what I was learning, what I was seeing. Because like I said, once you see something, it's hard to unsee it.
See it. Yeah.
So I didn't know what He wanted me to do with it. So it didn't feel important.
Yeah.
But now in hindsight, oh my goodness.
It was very important.
Oh my goodness. Every little moment. Even if it was something that was bad, like even if it was an argument with somebody, every little moment, and I like to think that God allowed the enemy to attack me in that season. I like to think that because He knows His children.
Yeah.
He know you can attack Kaneshia
That's
because
it.
I know that she know that she's still my daughter, and I know she know who goes before her and who stand behind her.
Yes, yes.
So in that season, sis, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was depressing.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
It was depressing.
Because if your mind not ready, if your mind not right, and like you said, if you're not tuning in to that inner you and you're function out of flesh, you're gonna fail every time.
That's it.
You're gonna fail every time. So you have to be obedient and stand on His word and trust His word because He tells us not to function out of flesh.
And I'm gonna tell you this, and it's nobody but God. But in that season, He ended up blessing me with Avery, and I'll never forget because she's our surprise baby. A surprise, and we went on vacation one summer, went on our 10-year anniversary vacation and came back, and I was like, what if? And I was just saying that, but in that season, God showed me that be careful what you say and be careful what you say, but also be specific in what you say.
That's it.
So I couldn't use my tongue for bad, negative, or death, in a way to certain situations. I had to use it for what was right, good, and what I wanted, what my the desires of my heart. And I was just joking about it, and it came to pass. And I was like, oh, He not playing.
And that's when you knew. That's when you knew.
I started speaking everything. I started speaking everything else. I said, okay, well, I want a home, Lord. I want this, that, and the other. I on my job, I want to do this. I don't want to just teach no more. I want to teach teachers. I want to do, I started to speak. So what I learned is because of my obedience.
Come on, B.
Because of my obedience to him, he gave me the desires of my heart. I can remember, and you know my story with Ava. You know, I lost a baby before Ava even lost a tube.
Yep.
And this is the part that you was right there with me. You like, come on,
Yep.
girl, we got this. You gonna be all
Yep.
right. I survived. I know you can survive. You just as strong as me. You know, you really built me up. And then I went on that next year, and I ended up pregnant with Ava.
Mm-hmm.
When Ava was like 2 or 3, I desired to have another baby. It just didn't happen.
Happy. Yeah.
And here you go. God will put me in a quiet, uncomfortable season at what is 7 years? 8 years. It would literally take 8 years later before I end up pregnant with Avery. But it's a testimony because he's getting ready to birth something in all of
Something.
us.
Come on. Yes,
And
ma'am.
so he started to show me in the physical, just like you're going to give birth to this baby, just like I kept my promise with that. Everything else that I told you will come forth from you, and even people you connected to, I'm gonna bring that to pass. They're gonna birth something new. And
Yeah.
I use that because birth is so beautiful. It's uncomfortable too. So I started relating the season that I was in with it, because when you're pregnant, you can't go nowhere. You can't do too much. You want to turn up with your friends, you can't. You want to go places and you're tired. That's
You
how
want to
it
be
works.
outside.
You want to be outside and you can't. You want to be
And you
outside, but you
can't.
got something on the inside.
That's it.
And
That's
that's the
it.
same thing that's going on in our spiritual world. We want to be outside, but we have something on the inside.
Well, you guys, that's a wrap of episode 4, part 1 with my girl Kaneshia Brinson. Didn't she bring the nuggets, the diamonds? Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, I am so blessed that God connected me with these women and more women to come. Make sure you continue to follow us, support us, like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell a sister to tell somebody to tell somebody. See you next Saturday. Let's go. Thank you for tuning in with Let's Talk Sis.